The concept of Chinese food typically doesn't have the same meaning for Americans and the Chinese. The food served in Chinese restaurants within the United States is more often than not catered to Western taste. Several traditional Americanized Chinese dishes, such as General Tso's chicken, were created to satisfy American customers and cannot even be found in China. Thus, a new Americanized style of Chinese food has emerged and differs greatly from traditional Chinese food.
After being at work and school all day, it's really nice to just be able to pull something out of the freezer, throw it on the stove for a few minutes, and have it ready to go. Because it's so convenient, we typically eat the frozen Chinese meals once a week.
It's fast, it's easy, and it's a lot cheaper than going out to a Chinese restaurant. However, a part of the cultural experience is lost. But one must ask, is the experience at a Chinese restaurant in America a true representation of real Chinese culture?
The gold rush of the 1800s brought many Chinese workers to the West Coast. The first Chinese restaurants were introduced in the United States at this time and were known as chow chows. They mainly served Cantonese railroad workers in California. The first merchant charged $1 for an all-you-can-eat buffet. The popular dish chop suey was developed in 1850 when a chef stirred together all the table scraps he could find and served it to a group of miners. It was called chop suey or garbage bits in Cantonese. In this era of history, Chinese were excluded from most jobs in the economy by racial discrimination and language barriers. Like Chinese laundries, Chinese restaurants became an ethnic niche. At the turn of the century, it was considered adventurous for an American to eat at a Chinese restaurant, because every part of the animal was considered edible. However, Chinese cooks began to modify their dishes to suit American tastes. Fortune cookies were invented by a Los Angeles noodle maker in 1916, and by the 1920s there were several Chinese restaurants in America. However, it was not until the late 1940s, following World War II, that Chinese food entered mainstream America. Nightclub restaurants such as the Lion's Den and the Forbidden City were opened in San Francisco. These nightclubs served drinks and Americanized Chinese food and featured live orchestras, circus entertainers, and performers. Up until the 1970s, Chinese food was almost all Cantonese style. However, Richard Nixon opened the People's Republic of China to the West in the 1970s. This brought the introduction of Szechuan and Hunan-style Chinese food in America. According to Chinese Restaurant News, there are now more Chinese restaurants in the U.S. than McDonald's franchises. The history of Chinese food shows the adaptations that Chinese immigrants had to make in order to become successful in Western culture.
American Chinese food typically caters to Western taste and differs significantly from authentic Chinese cuisine. Authentic Chinese cuisine makes frequent use of Asian leafy vegetables such as bok choy and gailan. As a result, American Chinese cuisine is usually less pungent because vegetables like gailan have a distinct smell. American Chinese foods tend to be easily and quickly cooked with a lot of oil and salt. Stir fry, pan fry, and deep fry are all done using a wok. They are the most common cooking methods because of their simplicity and easiness. American Chinese cuisine is also known for its reputation of high levels of MSG. Many American Chinese dishes contain ingredients not used in authentic Chinese dishes. For example, General Tso's chicken uses peanut oil and ketchup, which are both rarely, if ever, used in traditional Chinese dishes. These American differences do take away from the authenticity of Chinese cuisine, resulting in a taste and texture of the food that is not culturally native.
Chinese cuisine in America has clearly been impacted by Western culture. The types of food served as well as the restaurant atmosphere itself have been altered to satisfy the needs of Westerners with different cultural expectations. Just as traditional food in China has been transformed by American and Western influences and this cross-cultural exchange, Chinese food has transformed into a new genre of Americanized Chinese food.
Chinese restaurant, many food was sweet. It's all different. So, and China is salty and spicy.
Okay. So in American Chinese are sweet?
All sweet. Because a lot of American people like sweet.
Okay.
keep it essentially. All you see choose the double studio part.
So when you go to like a Chinese restaurant or like Chinese buffet, do you feel like it's the same thing at home?
Almost the same.
Almost the same at home? Right.
Yeah. What's it called? Spare ribs noodle soup. There you go. You can see the spare ribs, the noodles, vegetables. What is that? Napa, right? Napa.
Home cooked style. Home cooked. Home cooked.
This is not authentic.
Spare ribs.
This is not authentic.
Americanized. Real Chinese. Americanized. Real Chinese. Americanized.
Yeah. See the difference? It's completely different.
Completely different. Real Chinese food are salty and spicy. American are sweet. American are sweet.
Just eating.
Just eat it.
Record me for like 3 hours. I'm gonna be honest. Eating for like 3 hours. Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't being serious. Don't record me for 3 hours.
Like, do you feel like when you eat Chinese food, do you feel like the culture part of the Chinese food there, or you eat it?
I don't, because I mean I've seen like I've actually sat down in certain Chinese restaurants that they have more of an environment to it. So I guess it depends on where you're eating. Like if the environment where you're eating is like they make it so it's more like, you know, cultural based, then yeah, but like if it's fast food, I guess you don't get to see that aspect, so you just have it too, so like it depends on the setting, the atmosphere you're seeing.
Yeah, you cover a lot of kind of good to see you. Yeah. Alright, that's awesome.
The Chinese food here, it's too gross to eat. Like they put too much oil in it, so that's way different than the Chinese food in China, in my opinion. And the Chinese food here is always too sweet and too sour, things like that. And I don't really like the Chinese food here, so sometimes I will still go to the Chinese restaurant around here, but I don't like it that much because I just don't like the taste of it.
The restaurant.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
How do I feel? I feel okay, because if I haven't had any rice for like in like a month, then I would like to go, but if not, I don't like the Chinese food here. So I don't really like the Chinese restaurant around here.
Okay.